Hi there, knife people, hello lady and gentlemen. Tonight we're going to have some fun. Are there NASCAR fans out there? My collection of Vosteed knives is growing, and they just sent me another one. But I'm going to use this Knafs Lander 2 to unbox it. And the reason why I'm using this knife instead of a number of Vosteeds will become obvious to you in a second. What do we have here? Vosteed Vombat. Vombat. You know, it's probably some kind of animal. They keep naming knives after animals. Some of them I know. Oof. Clip point. Like Raccoon, and some of them I never seen, like Ankylo. But anyway, this is called Vombat, and I'm going to have to look it up. But first, I looked up the knife's creator, Yui, who is a former Kaiser employee, which is where Landers were made.
Hey, Yui.
Hi, Jethro.
So this is pretty awesome. I'm here with Yui, who is the founder of Vosteed and the engineer, designer of some of these cool Vosteed knives that we all get to own and play with.
So Yui, the world's most charming engineer, named the knife after Vombat, the world's most charming marsupial. See where I'm going with this? And not only does Yui have charm, he has a sense of humor too.
And another reason, it's a secret. So people can like Google wombat poop.
Oh.
What shape is the poop?
The shape of the Vombat poop.
Wombat is a very fun animal.
Yeah, more inspiration for the knife. So
I'm actually not inclined to show Wombat poo on the channel, but may I assure you those chocolate cubes are shaped exactly like the thing. I don't know if that's the way to win the hearts and minds of the American knife consumers. Maybe you should consider the success of the Psyop, which is very, very popular in large part due to its cool name. So why did I pick this Kaiser product? I know it's Knafs, but this series of knives is made by Kaiser, at least until some recent ones. And the reason I picked it is because Vombat and Lander 2 both have easily replaceable scales that you can purchase aftermarket from the companies, and they also give away CAD files that enable you to 3D print any kind of scales you wish for these knives. So tonight, get ready for some excitement. You see, I have these Lander 2 original scales, and Vosteed actually sent me a couple of sets of replacement scales. So let's open one up and see what's up. And then once I figure out which scales I want to put on this knife, we're going to do a competition. We're going to do a side-by-side timed competition to see which one is easier to assemble, obviously not counting opening the box, because they're very close competitors. So, ooh, look at that. Yeah, there's like 4 sets of thumb studs to pick a color from. And what are these? I think these are the kind of little spacers. You see the spacer with a logo here, but you can replace it with a sanitized no logo spacer in black or green. Interesting. I have this clip on, what was the name? Parallel. Vosteed Parallel, almost called it Narrows, but it has the same wire clip, so I'm wondering if one of these, maybe the black one, would jive with this guy. So I'll try it in a little bit, and let's see what kind of amazing scales I got here. Okay, all right, that's a lot of wrapping. Ooh, micarta, natural micarta. Okay, let's pull the other set. Same package, right? Everything the same. I have lots of spares. There are omega springs. There are extra omega springs. And here are the scales, individually packaged. Ooh. Oh, wild. Huh. What do they call this pattern? Is there a label? Okay. Coral Orbit Bamboo. Coral Orbit Bamboo. Is there? Now they're going to make me look up a plant. Great. I'm going to become a biologist or botanist with this company. More a marine biologist, because this is bamboo coral. That's what it's called. I may see a resemblance if I squint. Would they clash? Should I go with a simple micarta? I'm going to go with micarta because of this, for the simple reason it's probably easier to machine a precise cavity here in G10. So I'm going to put them to a true test with micarta, where you will see more trouble than with any other material when you're buying aftermarket scales. So we'll find out. And so I'm going to set up a little match here, and we'll go from there. And we're go, go, go. On the left, the Vombat. Only one driver bit, T8, is required to remove the scales off this knife. Not the case for the Lander. T8 and a T6 are required. Luckily, they're on the same bit. It's a quick switch. Oh, and what do we have? The driver strategy is to remove T8s first and then switch the bit and remove the T6s. The Lander is ahead. The scales are off and the new ones are being installed. Vombat's pit crew recovers quickly and the scale is being installed. But on the Lander side, the strategy is still working. T6 is installed first and then switching over to T8. Interesting approach on the right. The blanking plate was installed first on the show scale. Those T6 screws are tiny, but the driver has a strategy, ladies and gentlemen. He wets the tip of the driver to hold the screws in place. The Vombat crew hesitates. The screws are of a different length. They're the same size, but they're different length, ladies and gentlemen. How will they solve the problem? Oh, the memory played crucial role here. Two shorter screws go in the middle. Two longer screws retain the stop pin. And the mid-length screw goes in the back. And the Lander crew is already installing the pivot hardware. But wait, there's no pivot hardware to install on the Vombat. And they're done, ladies and gentlemen, they're done. Oh, what an upset for the Lander crew. The pivot adjustment was required to remove the plate from the blade. Oh, such a disappointment for the Knafs. Vosteed Vombat, a clear winner at 2 minutes 32 seconds and at 3 minutes 2 seconds for the Knafs Lander. Just 31 second, ladies and gentlemen, separated them from the win. Oh, but wait a minute. The judges are conferring. What's going on? Hold on a second, I'm getting the report. Oh, the Vosteed team discovered a play in the blade, opened up during reassembly, and now they're trying to fix it. Luckily, even though the pivot hardware is hidden under the scale, there's a hole, small orifice on the clip side, just big enough to get a T8 head through it and adjust the pivot hardware. And the pit crew is done, but what will the judges do? Waiting for the decision here. I'm getting something in. Oh, and the Vosteed team is being penalized 30 seconds for missing this important inspection. It's a tie! Oh, the drama. Oh, what a race. All right, the blade hardness and some abusive tests of this knife are still coming up. But first, I want to recap what we saw. So a very competitive product, fun for people who like to customize their knives. Is there any practical side to swapping scales? I think there is. As you noticed, the knife came with the aluminum scales. If you use it in some very, very cold climate, it will actually freeze to your hand because aluminum does get very cold. You would not have this issue with a micarta. Same goes for leaving a knife on the dashboard of a car, for example, in a hot sun. Aluminum may potentially burn your hand. And so if you operate your pocket knives in the extreme climates, there is definitely a practical reason to swap the scales. To do the hardness test, I have to remove the blade from the knife. And so we're going to go beyond just replacing the scales. I'm going to put the aluminum scale back on because I do not operate in an extreme climate. And I don't leave knives on the dashboard of my car. So as you can see, I opened it on the pivot orifice side. And now there's another T8 screw here. Okay, we're going to pop that spring. which is very easy to do. By the way, it came in the middle strength adjustment, in the middle slot here. You probably didn't notice, but during the scale swap, I put it to the tightest setting, and it runs. It's a little more fun, I think, that way. This is how I remove Omega springs. Push it off like this. And now the big question is, will we be able to remove this side of the liner without having to take the rest of the knife completely apart? And it's a little bit of a tricky situation here. Nope, I'm gonna have to take it completely apart. I don't want to bend the liner because that will definitely affect, if not necessarily the function, but at least the centering of the knife. These are better off completely flat. So full disassembly it is. And I've taken apart, because of being a Benchmade collector, I've taken apart so many crossbar lock knives. It should be second nature to me. You know, so this goes in here. And now I should be just able to push this out. You know what? Why not use tools? That's why I have tools. Very tight fit, which is good tolerances. And you probably are not expected to do this on a regular basis, just on the seldom occasions. Yeah, this is a fixating feature here, so that's how they get away with just one orifice for adjustments. And oh, it's a tight fit right here. And we are done. But now I have enough room here to test this guy for hardness. I'm actually going to take the thumb studs off because they definitely minimized the use of material here. So now I have enough space here to do 3 pokes on this knife. Before each hardness test on my channel, I verify calibration on my Rockwell tester using this serialized, certified, independently certified, NIST approved block. It's rated to be at 62 HRC, and the industrial standard for this device allows repeatability error of 0.5 HRC. For your convenience, I accelerated the video about 6 times. The result is 62.2 HRC. I am well within the calibration, so we are good to go to start on the blade. The blade steel is Bowler M390 Microclean. The hardness range can typically vary between 68 and 62 HRC, as seen from this chart, or even higher with some cryogenic treatment. In our case, the first poke yielded 59 exactly. 58.9 on the second poke. Not very exciting. At this hardness, the balance between corrosion resistance and toughness will be good, but the edge retention will be suboptimal. That's the word I'm looking for. Let's see what the third poke yields. And we got 58.3 HRC. At this hardness, the performance will be on par with 12C27 steel, which is a much more budget stainless non-powder steel. And some of you will say it's as hard as what you see on the screen. Reassembling the knife was not as trivial as I was hoping. If you fully disassemble, be prepared to keep track of what length screw goes where. This is suboptimal, and that's becoming a keyword of the day, which is upsetting to me, not as a knife owner, but as an engineer, because I clearly realize how much work went into designing and sourcing every single one of these components, not to mention producibility decisions that were made. I understand how it works, and that's why it's upsetting that the heat treat quality and maybe unfortunate selection of hardware, those little naggy things, they kind of add up to a suboptimal overall product. Especially if you compare it to their amazing knives such as Raccoon, Psyop, Porcupine, and Hedgehog. I love those knives, no problems there. One of these producibility decisions they made actually adds up to a very easy blade installation. As you just saw, I pre-assembled the frame and then installed the crossbar and the springs, and now I am simply fitting the blade in between the 2 plates. The bearings are retained within these cavities. All you have to do is to remember which side you are placing the pivot nut or the barrel or the female side of the pivot, because it has to end up on the left side of the assembly or where the show scale will be, because there's no hole in the show scale to adjust the pivot if you reversed it during the installation. If you think my explanations are clear, please hit the like button. If you think they're not, hit the dislike button. That's the best way for me to get your feedback. And once I'm done reassembling this knife, I think I'm going to wrap up the video without subjecting it to the resilience tests, because I think at this blade hardness, we all know it is a light-duty knife, so there is no need to torture it. We already know what's going to happen. What happens with the steel's heat-treated subpar can be seen in my videos about Bear Ops Nikama and Ozark Trail Valor. And as I was reinstalling the thumb studs, I came to a realization that all of them are oversized, and instead of a slip fit, they require hammering into the hole. This is probably because the engineer who designed them was actually trying to make it a slip fit, but did not take into account the fact that anodizing is a layer, and that layer has a thickness, and that thickness can actually cause interference fit instead of desired slip fit. That doesn't detract from overall look and feel of the knife. It's fun, it's fidgety, it's good looking, it's ergonomically well balanced. It's just not a heavy duty knife. I'm actually working on the video covering some other Kaiser knives, and this is the excerpt from it. This is Knafs Lander 2. And as you can see, their heat treat of S35VN, it is also suboptimal, ending up around 60 HRC. So let's talk Vosteed. If you watch my recent videos reviewing these 4 knives, these were in one video and this one was in a separate video, you will notice that heat treat on these is excellent. They pushed past this whole stigma of optimization and went into the higher hardness region recently. I don't know if they stopped heat treating them at Kaiser, or Kaiser saw the light and actually started doing a better job. This knife, I would recommend it to someone who doesn't want to invest into diamond plate sharpening. I think it will perform as designated, a light-duty, small pocket knife, just fine. But as a knife enthusiast, I would like to see the same level of performance as I see on the Raccoon, the Psyop, the Ankylo, and the Hedgehog. And of course, don't forget the Porcupine. All right, if you guys feel cheated that I didn't do a torture test, write a comment. Please do, because if I get enough of these comments, especially from my channel supporters, channel members, I will definitely do the test. Meanwhile, I will carry this knife. I really, really like this neutral ergonomics. I like the fact that I can take it on travel and sharpen it without the use of diamond plates necessarily. At this hardness, I should be able to use the back of the coffee mug to sharpen this blade. That might be a good idea to try that in that second video. Let me know if you're interested. For now, I'm out.